We really are like aliens exploring another planet, aren't we? Like, what if life was sent here? What if somewhere far away they saw Earth and they're like, we're just gonna send some life to Earth, and then it becomes this. Because it doesn't really, when you don't have any context in your personal life of like where you belong and what your home is, you feel displaced and you feel like you don't have a home, and then you feel lost and you get depressed, right? Or if you don't have any context for your species, if you're by yourself, you're on an island somewhere, there's not another human around, just by yourself, you feel lost, you feel unique, you feel alone. It's the same thing that's happening across, the world. People are trying to make meaning happen, and so by doing that, they are destroying or building things to try to make it feel like they belong somewhere and to make it feel like they understand something. But our whole species has no context. All of our lives, there's no context to it. We're just here, and we do things to try to make sense of it all. But we're never truly satisfied because we just don't know. No matter what we do, and no matter how sure we feel about something, at the very depth of it all, there's still a question mark. There's still a question mark about what does this all even mean? What's the point? I mean, not even just the point, but like what? Like, how did this happen? We have so many different answers we made up, but we don't know. So we're just like, how did this happen? How did we get here? How did we get right here? How am I sitting here, right? Like, what got me here? Like, I'm watching bugs, I'm watching ants on the ground, and they're just like little explorers too, If you really watch them, they're just fun little explorers. They're going about their days, climbing up and down things. They don't pose you any harm. Not even the really venomous ones. They're not out there looking for you. They're just trying to figure shit out the same way we're figuring things out. Where they're like, all right, if I eat this thing in front of me, that feels right, let me do that. And what I'm trying to say is that, like, okay, here's my ground. This is just a bunch of earth crushed together, and now we have ground, right? And so we're just kind of making do with what we got out here. And the whole point of me recording this right now, it's not to be like, oh, check out this revelation. Oh, look how smart I can sound. It's pretty much because, like, it's like, this is coming from like a place of a boredom mixed with just a relaxed, peaceful state of mind. And when you're bored and you're peaceful and relaxed, suddenly everything else kind of stops making sense. When you're really engulfed in something, and you're really feeling something, you feel like there's so much meaning in doing it. You feel like there's so much like purpose in doing it. But when you're just completely fine, just sitting in a chair, and you feel completely just no substances, just completely your natural feeling of just like, you get a sense of how we're just here. Like right now, yeah, I'm just here. I'm just sitting here. But overall, we're just here. There's like rules to what we can do and can't do. But there's no rules about what we should do or shouldn't do. There's like formulas that work, you know, being good to people, being kind to people, taking care of people, that leads to better outcomes for us. But overall, it's just so still. Even when it's insanely busy, even when you have hurricanes going on, even when you have missiles coming into your home, it's insanely still. And it's almost like we're programmed in a way. And we kind of, you know, we obviously, scientifically we are. We're programmed by DNA to turn out a certain way, you know. I look like this because it was written in my DNA that I should look like this. It didn't dye my hair, it didn't shave my beard, it didn't make my body shaped this way, but all the rules are written in my DNA of what I'm supposed to turn out like a general idea, you know, and how I'm gonna adapt as I grow and all that. So like we're pre-programmed in a way with what we can and can't do. You know, we're not growing tails, we're not growing horns. But as far as like what we should do and what is right or wrong to do with our lives, it's just a big sandbox. Just a big sandbox. It's like a big game where there's no missions, there's no quests, and you're just dropped in the middle of it with some basic needs, some pre-programmed rules, and you can just do whatever. And there's no consequence either, you know? There's no consequence. Not in the sense that we normally think of consequence. I mean, you do one thing, you know, there's an equal and opposite reaction to it. But it all ends when you die. Or it all ends when people forget who you are. Or it all ends whenever you're not being around the things that you're enacting your things, you know. But ultimately, it ends when you end. Just like a game. Like you're plugged in. Everything you do when you're in the game, you gotta deal with. But once you unplug, that's it. That's it. As far as we know. I mean, for all we know, that whatever we do in this life, we're racking up like a bunch of points in a point system to spend on our next life. So maybe if you do like really good things in this life, you get to buy yourself like oh, I want to be born in this country with this much money. I want to have these parents. I don't know. It's kind of more fun to think of it that way. But my whole point right now, the reason why I'm gonna post this, even though it's not really like too compelling, is because it's just like when you get really bored, but you're also very peaceful, and you're okay with being bored, and you accept it, you see something. You see something you don't normally. You get a clarity. And you see something you don't normally see. And also you appreciate life some more. Because on the other side, it could just be a lot of stillness. A lot of stillness and complete no identity, no presence, no focused consciousness. It could just be a state of bliss, just eternal vibrationary bliss. And then once we pop into existence again, we're able to experience things, we can explore things, we can, oh my God, I'm alive again. Whoa, this is amazing. And you can feel things, and you can And then when you're not alive anymore, then you're back to being into the eternal bliss of just forever peace and forever. But then when you're alive again, you're so grateful for being alive. You're so grateful for being alive. And that's what's crazy about people who go after other people and who harm other people and babies, is that you're ruining their life, like their chance at experience life. You're ruining it. You're ruining it for no reason. The same goes with bugs. The same goes with plants. The same goes with all forms of life. You know, accidents happen, things die, but when you're intentionally killing things, you're ruining something's chance at experiencing life just because it's not you, just because it's different than you. You want to ruin it. Like, everything is just as excited to be here as you are. You should at least try to avoid killing without reason.